And you know, ideally, the groups, they have their constitution, they have their policies, and you know, they know each other, and then they ask for some amount of loan. But you know, after submission, one of them will give you, Musomesa, they used to call me Musomesa, and teach or something like that. And there is this lady, you know, they have already made their decision, but other people come after that, and they alert you to some problem. So that sometimes would lead me, although they had in their meeting agreed and said, that is our loan application of 2 million. And at the end of the day, you find you have to revise the loans of 3 people. Huh? So somehow, I think I would let them there influencing the decision somehow. What I will go back again. Eh? So maybe, I don't know if this question is related to that. Because I think I had some influence even after the decision. Because of my other due diligence. So do you face a situation like that, or for you everything is fine? What we decide is what you are doing. I think that would be
Thank you. Okay. I finished. If you have comment or question, welcome. Yeah, I finished.
So, but maybe make a clarification on Garevi's question.
Maybe I also wanted to relate to what the saying. You don't have the books that lend money, but you also have SLS. These are where members are self-organized, so they come and borrow as a visitor. For their account, they come and borrow as a visitor. But then you have a group which you have mobilized and you're training and you have market action. But with a visitor, they manage their own affairs. What you need is to be payment, and then once in a while, the loans officer takes the monthly meetings. But the experience is, in this situation, the visitor, where members know they borrowed as a visitor, and the leaders are more responsible for the loan collection and the payment. The rate of the payment is higher compared to this group where the loan officer is usually. So one thing I learned was when they have more responsibility for their money, so they put in extra effort. You see, the visitor is hard to follow. Because if you play the quotas for they can never say it. Because these are people within the community. Okay? And for them, they can work up in the lifts and slide. The whole group will come, like 10 people pick it up, go sell it, and they come up. So usually maybe that is those who get it.
Okay.
Well, as I already said, I'm not a writer, I don't know maybe but I undertook some study, by the way, once on group lending and this community managed to kind of, as external assessor, I made some study, by the way, about this. And the comment I identified through this assessment on group loan, you know, the kind of, you know, the group loan policy, group loan is self-selected group. For some reasons, it's not only all because of maybe exhaustive evaluation indicators, for some reasons there are individuals who are discriminated in the group, you know, like for example, they could have somebody, or maybe sometimes when you don't have really enough asset in your hand, people consider that this is very important. The issue of solidarity is really people not to be valued with the money they have, with the kind they have, or what they have, rather with the capacity they have. That is how they should have been assessed. You know, they can work with this money, they can enterprise, they can make profit, they can pay. So solidarity is a matter of supporting each other. That is how I understand it. The way microfinance initiated by Professor Yunus long ago is also really how food can be serviced by the service, which cannot be serviced by the conventional financial institution. But he also in microfinance, with my assessment what I am discussing, things will be more getting more efficient. I mean, there is a social committee.
Yeah.
It's created in the left back. That's what I feel that instead of this. In fact, in terms of payment, I will say that you can afford it. In terms of the lowest, this is the resource I give. In terms of reaching the target, still there are many people who are left out for some reason. That is my observation.
Yeah, let me add, people need inspection, recognition. We make them to decide. We make them to work with us to decide on the loan screening, loan decision. Those people are illiterate. Some of them are not literate. Maybe some are 6th or 7th grade. Most of them are illiterate. We give them responsibility. We respect them. This is not a simple thing within the society. This work is very well. This is why it is the unique methodology and why the portfolio is better than the conventional one. Yes? Yeah.
So if you say some other people being excluded or discriminated, it's because they are not active in the society.
Holding this thing for long, going to stop me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going into these details. I'll just go straight to our agri-finance strategy. You know, our background as Madifa Sacco is we are started by smallholder farmers, purely smallholder farmers, and we're talking about smallholder farmers who are into crop production. You know, an average of 1 to 2 acres, and growing maize with hardly alternative sources of income. So this is a farmer who is going to plant, for example, now they're going to plant in March, and you expect the incomes after 3-4 months. And then you wait for another 3-4 months, another 1 month to plant and wait for the income after. So these are two incomes in a year. And given that they don't have alternative sources of income, so the risk is high. And we have categorized our risks into three factors. One is about the production risk, and of course we're relating the risk to our loans, because we are financing them. So there's a risk that they have no farm management skills, which is very common. So if they don't produce in quantities that will allow them make profit, then they're not going to be able to pay back the loan. So to us, that is a risk to the institution. Then 2, we have issues of climatic change, also as part of the production risk. But then also we look at the markets. So also have issues of markets. They can produce but fail to access the market. And then lastly, it's about the price risk. The prices also keep fluctuating. So all those have an effect on the recovery of the funds we have lent out to these farmers. So what we do in our model is we have a financial service plus model So what we do is to offer farmers services that will enable us to de-risk them, to address some of those risks we've talked about. And we cannot do all this alone. So we work with our sister organizations. So issues of farm management skills, here we talk about extension services, and we talk about trainings, issues of good agronomic practices, issues of financial literacy, issues of post-harvest handling, so that they're able to increase productivity, but also have the qualities which meet the standards which are desired by the market to earn a premium price. And then also know how to manage the funds or the loans they are getting from the society, and also boost their savings. Then issues of input supplies. Here we both address the issues of quality, people getting the quality inputs, but also looking now about climate smartness, having the inputs which are more drought tolerant. They can absorb some water loss, that even if, for example, there is a drought, the farmer does not lose completely. The yield may be low, but still can get something from the harvest. Looking at issues of market linkages, because this is where now they're going to make the money. So they should be able to have a market where they are selling and be able to make a profitable return from the investment. So we work with these organizations. We have a warehouse, Masindi Warehouse, or Masgal. Masgal is Masindi Seed and Grain Growers Limited. It is a warehouse, licensed warehouse operator. It is into, it gives farmers options to bulk and wait for price improvements. Because usually, at the time of harvesting, the prices are usually low because there is a lot of supply in the market. So there is need for farmers to postpone the sale of the produce so that they are able to earn a premium price at some point in time. So the farmers have liberty, they can go and store their produce in the warehouse, and usually the warehouse can issue them a receipt, and after the prices have stabilized, they can go and sell their produce in their warehouse. But we also realize that during that time, when the farm is harvesting, because this person has been not having income for about 4 months, so meaning he needs money, he has to pay school fees, he has the family living expenses to meet, so they need money. And usually that's the pressure which forces people to sell their produce when farmers are low. So we have an arrangement with the warehouse that when they give a receipt, and well, even if the farmer got a production loan, he has also now taken products to the warehouse, then we calculate and see how much is in the warehouse and what is the value of the products in the warehouse. Based on the current prevailing price, we can advance a farmer some money, maybe to pay school fees or meet other pressing family expenses as they wait for the prices to improve and sell their products. Then we have Masindi Farmers Association. Even our name comes from there. That is a mother organization because MADFASAC was started by farmers and Masindi Farmers Association. So it has expertise in the mobilization because most of the farmers are members of the association. So it does the mobilization of the farmers and organize them in groups. So they mobilize, organize the farmers in groups, do the group dynamics, the group training, group cohesion. So once the group is well prepared, it is recommended to the SACCO for further training and financing. So that softens our work because we find when the group at least is well organized with some kind of cohesion as an entry point for us to deal with the group. But also, the District Farmers Association has agronomists. So they help us to do the extension services. Those trainings are done by the agronomists of the District Farmers Association. So that's also subsidizes our operation because we would be funding those trainings from our own society operations. Then we have a seed company. So a seed company is also owned by the District Farmers Association, but is an independent company into production of seed. So the inputs usually were to farmers collaborated by the seed company. So the seed company works with the National Agriculture Research Organization, maybe into production of seed varieties which are ideal for environment, which can tolerate water stress, which are water resistant, which have short maturity periods, as a way of enabling the farmers manage the effects of climatic change. Then, of recent, we have a new company which has just come on board. It's Machine Farmers Agribusiness. So this one is now into marketing. And so that's where the focus is. Because having done all the three, we still found a gap. The market was missing. And from also our research, we realized the market is the incentive for the farmers to do all those things we're talking about. Once a farmer has a good market, the farmer is able to invest in high yield technologies because he's assured of the market, he's assured of a good price, and he's assured of a profitable return at the end of the day. But when the farmer doesn't have a good market, then they tend to invest less in farming. And usually, they keep subsistent. So this company started with rice. Why rice was selected first was because of the demand. The rice we have in the country is basically imported. We have Tanzanian rice, we have rice as from the Asia, Pakistan rice, and all those products in our shops. So that was a gap because we felt that if farmers can produce the rice locally, then that could be an import substitution. So that's why rice was selected, because there is demand, the prices are relatively stable, and it could easily earn the farmers a good price. But then, of course, during the production of rice, another product came in, because usually when they are milling rice, some rice is broken. And the market wants full grain. But also the farmers have the broken rice. So the company had to work around and see where do we put the broken rice. So now they started buying some soya bean from the farmers and crush the broken rice to make composite flour as a porridge. So they mix soya bean and the broken rice to make porridge. It is good for infants or people who want to improve their protein diet. So that is also part of the key products that they are working on. But also there is now plans. This is also looking at how can it enter the maize processing and do something which is different from the market, because there are very many players in processing maize. So their research now is into what can they do, because our area is also predominantly into maize production. But that one is still under research. So I think I've tried to summarize all this. Maybe because of the climatic changes, yesterday I talked about our partnership with the Sanlam and Agro Consortium about the crop insurance. There's also another partnership we entered into to minimize the risk of the farmers in case of drought or excessive rainfall spoiling their products. I've summarized all this when I was speaking the other, so because of time. So the benefits is our model attempts to address the inherent risks in agriculture financing, production, marketing, and price. I say attempts because we are not yet fully there. We are still, it is work in progress, especially when it comes to issues of marketing and price. I've told about the production risk being addressed by enabling members access extension services, crop insurance, and drought tolerant seeds, marketing and price risk, farmers under contract farming by Machine Farmers Agribusiness, but also the seed company is contracting farmers. This is something I'd forgotten. Because the seed company is producing seed, so there are farmers that are contracted to produce seed. We have seed growers who are producing seed, so that is also another market opportunity for the farmers that can meet the criteria to produce the seed. Then the warehouse is enabling members to bulk their products. Over the last 10 years, Trias East Africa has done a lot to help us put this model into shape. Because they have done a lot in subsidizing the training activities, in the research into doing this. Sometimes we try with them, some extent. I remember Trias was telling us, even giving us some credit funds to risk. Because when we are hesitant, they say, well, you can have another 50 million, try it out and risk it, but make sure you recover this money. So to be able to move that journey along with it. And it has also subsidized our non-financial services. Like those trainings are more subsidized by Trias. So our current focus is to enhance members' access optimal markets. We're looking at the volumes, helping these people now to go commercial. Look at the volumes they can produce, look at the quality standards, look at the value addition, but also that collective marketing to have that bargaining power in the market for improved enterprise profitability. These are ambitions. I will not go much into this. Maybe the challenges. The off-takers, if you look at Machine Farmers Agro-Business and Machine Seed Company, these are companies that are owned by farmers through Machine Rich Farmers Association. So they have capital limitations to pay farmers on time. If any farmers have supplied the seed company, maybe the seed company has also got a contract, it has supplies nuts. But now government is going to take, maybe they have supplied seed worth about 500 million to nuts. Government is going to take another 3 or 4 months to pay. So now that means it will also affect the circle. Because these are the members that were financed by the circle, and on belief that they are supplying seed to the seed company has supplied seed to the government, and the government is going to take long to make the payments. So usually that brings in some limitations in terms of capital. Then Masfa being a young company, we are talking about the rice, and actually that's why I was sharing with our colleague from Cameroon about how they manage the bulking. Because the farmers are producing rice, and usually now rice is produced mostly in the second season. Because the first season, rains are becoming highly unpredictable. They are very short. So farmers try, and rice needs a lot of water for production. Because purely rice was supposed to be grown in wetlands. But now that we're going for upland, still those characteristics of water requirements have not really come out strongly. So what is happening is the company should have enough money to buy off all the maize, which is going to take them almost for 6-7 months. So those capital limitations, where does it find all that capital, is still a challenge to have all the rice produced by the farmers procured and stored. Also, strengthening of the farmer groups is still unsatisfactory, especially with our group lending methodology. There are still incidences of groups disintegration. Either members have not paid back their loans, and then all the members in a group are compelled to pay for each other, and then out of frustration, other members are abandoning the group. So all those things are still there, and we're still looking for a way, how can we manage to grow our groups and have that sustainability in the groups. The warehousing facilities usually are used by same commercial and commercial farmers. So we had a challenge some time back. The warehouse got a contract to supply World Food Program. So all the farmers brought their produce and put in the warehouse. Then they supplied the World Food Program. But of course now the World Food Program also takes time to make the payments. Now the payments come after like 1.5 to 2 months. So by the time the payments came, the prices on the market had gone high. Possibly because the contract, out of this contract by World Food Program, all the maize was bought from the market. So there was there was deficit and the prices went high. So the farmers got frustrated. They said, these ones who remained with their maize have got a better price than us who transported the maize up to the warehouse and we're getting a small price. So that one also somehow discouraged some members from using the warehouse for collective marketing. Adoption still of rice production is still low because of rat clients. So that one is still also a challenge, as I said, especially in the first season. The rains are are very unpredictable. So more farmers are avoiding to grow rice during the first season. And of course that will affect the supplies to Masindi Farmers Agribusiness, which is into processing of rice. Then lastly, our members are organized in groups. And now that they're organized in groups, most of them have the VISLA arrangement. And you know, with the VISLA, how they do it is they save money throughout the year. So during Christmas, they are sharing. So that one causes a recruiter challenge. You see the savings grow during the course of the year. Then when it comes to December, all this money is being withdrawn to go to share. Our members share between 2 to 3 billion per December. So that one affects the savings so much, because now it means the institution is limited to invest these savings into growing the portfolio because of that volatility. So usually we are forced either to invest it in liquid assets like treasury bills, like fixed deposits, because we know members are going to take this money. That one also affects the portfolio growth, because now we are forced to look for other external sources to finance the portfolio growth because of that arrangement. But still, we look at it as a weakness, as a challenge, but also as an opportunity. So our opportunity here is how do we transform these members in VISLAs from members who are saving for Christmas celebration to members who are saving for development. So that is the task we have to change that. It is a very big task. It takes a lot of time. We may not achieve it today or tomorrow, but that is our focus. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And of course, thank you so much for keeping the tradition. The name Masindi District Farmers Association. You know, we should also have those districts, District Farmers Association, like Mbadifa. It was one example here. But it died a natural death. And the main reason was that the government kept on splitting districts from the other greater districts. I don't know whether it happened to your Masindi, or still intact the way it was.
Masindi was also divided. Because I talk about the greater Masindi,
Okay.
that is Kiadongo and Ulisa.
So now my question comes. Since you are still having that name, Masindi District Farmers Association, and probably it goes by the administrative boundaries, and now they were split into many districts, don't you find it a challenge now to still use that name and actually collectively the other state organization calling yourself Masindi District? And probably now there is Triandongo, there is Sungo, whatever.
Actually,
Isn't it a challenge?
it was a challenge, especially when we were expanding into Hoima and Chikube district. People were like, you're Madifa, you're Masindi. The Hoima, we have body, because Hoima was Hoima is part of the station. So that was initially a challenge. But it was also about telling the members that Masindi is just your neighbor. And also showing them how the market is. We're talking about KCP serving us in Uganda. We're talking about ABISA, which is the Allied Bank of South Africa. So if we are comfortable dealing with the Allied Banks of South Africa, we are comfortable dealing with the Kenya Commercial Bank. How about Madifa, which is just the next your neighbor here, just a throw away from here, where we understand each other. But of course also, as part of that was also to involve the members from those other districts, like on leadership, also look at how they can have representation, leadership positions, participating in AGMs. So that one also brings in the sense of ownership, and finally it has died out.
I have a concern. Let me ask you.
So then you can come like that. Yes.
Thank you for the good presentation. My small concern is about the receipt system you mentioned with the warehouse. So I was wondering now, when you advance money in form of this to the farmers, and then they are using the receipts from the warehouse. As a correct situation now?
Yes.
Now, what happens when they are finally paid by the warehouse? Do you collect it at once? And if not that, if not once, now what happens to the next installment, loan installment?
No, usually the receipts is for a short time period, not exceeding 3 months. So when the warehouse, for example, they get an order from World Food Program, they have delivered the maize and World Food Program has made the payments, they are going to give those farmers that got receipts, who got advances from the circle, all their payments will go to their accounts.
Okay.
So we recover our loans and then the members can withdraw their
It's interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe I start here from one observation, which has some relevance. That, in my view, I think people are more attracted by the service you're offering than the name and where you're running from. It's about something that touches their needs. So for me, if you're offering needs-based services, it doesn't matter where you come from. And I think his explanation was right. They're getting things from everywhere in the world. They're friends. So many people from outside this country. So I think the name is not very important. Bobo, I want to come to some of the issues. One is the frustration by the farmers when they sell, for example, to the warehouse, and then possibly they realize later, possibly if they had not gone to the warehouse, they would have gotten a better price. I think that is something to enlighten them on, but I think it is also related also the other services outside the price itself. Because I think there should be incentives that bring people to be attached to that house other than the selling itself. So I want to bring it so that you think about what other services can these people attach themselves to us than just the price. It's a question for reflection. That is one. Then there is the problem where people are stranded somehow because there is a ban on going to plant rice in the wetlands, which makes sense. But also, another reason is the rat cranes. So in other contexts, if things like this prevail, that's when people begin thinking of developing products like giving irrigation loans or something like that. So for you, you have not told us about, or even for all these challenges, what are your now solutions, strategies? What are you thinking about them? Yeah.
Yes, we have irrigation loan products, but we're talking about an irrigation product, which is mainly about 4 million. But we're also talking about a smaller farmer going for 1 acre and takes a maximum loan of 500,000. So still irrigation may not be an easy solution as that can be a solution for the other same commercial and commercial farmers. Now, I forgot to tell you, Masiri Seed Company is working with narrow. They are looking at rice varieties because actually not growing rice in wetlands has two disadvantages. One is about the weather, but also the super rice which has high demand, the aromatic rice, is grown in the wetland. The upland rice is not aromatic, but also the market needs aromatic rice varieties. So Masindi Seed Company is working with Narrow. So there are about 4 varieties which Narrow has produced. Dr. Lamo, about upland rice with aroma. So it is under piloting. I think they have done some demos in Hoima, Chukure, and Masindi. So we shall wait for the results, because what is going to happen is, out of the 4 varieties, farmers will meet from those where they have put the demos and agree which is the right variety to be adopted. And actually it comes at a time when these varieties are very new in the market. So there is even an option of owning it and calling it money for us. So that option is also there. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, for your presentation. Quite insightful. I'm looking at, you call it strategy or a model where you're working with different actors, and I'm thinking about the customer. What is the cost sharing structure? I can imagine all these different partners. There is a cost to serving this one farmer. They go to the warehouse, there is a cost to it. They go to a seed company, there is a cost to it. Are you concerned about the end cost to the customer?
Yes.
How do you manage that?
Yes, because some of for example, the seed company, for it doesn't have a direct cost on the farm. So the seed company generates its revenues from selling seed to the farmers. Now, through our model, that farmers now are buying the seed in bulk. So they can be able, through their groups, they buy the seed in bulk at lower prices. So they buy like wholesalers. So actually now they're able to get the seed at a subsidized price because of the bulk purchases. They benefit from the economies of scale. So the warehouse, the cost is on storage. So that one is a storage cost, but the farmer should look at this cost because it's 10 shillings. It's very significant. It's about 5 shillings. 5.
It's how much?
It's about 5 shillings per kilo.
Per kilo.
Yes, 5 shillings per kilo. But if you're going to see that the maize is going to increase in price from 700, for example, to 800, 5 shillings per month should be negligible.
Comparison to the storage costs that you incur.
Exactly. Yes.
They don't even have.
So now the District Farmers Association is basically an NGO. It's a company limited by guarantee, which doesn't make business. But part of the work it has also done to survive and also sustainability plan is to invest in these other companies. So Masindi Seed Company is a company owned by the District Farmers Association. The agro-business is a company this farmers association has shares in it. So that is also part of their
And your SACCO also.
and the SACCO also, but of course now the SACCO is member owned. So their ownership in the SACCO is up to the shares contributed.
You are trying to run away.
Yes, I'm going to go.
So can you maybe speak to us in terms of the impact? Are there, for example, some people started with 1 acre, now they are growing 10 acres. Yeah. They have now grown into big commercial farmers. And maybe the other thing is, I know Masindi is an area where people, the land acreage is, people have an average of 5 and more acres of land. Then are they venturing into diversification of the enterprises, maybe moving into from crop and then to livestock, and so that the risk and the income at household level improves? Yeah, if you could speak to that.
On the impact, we are seeing some changes, because usually if you find the members in the group, you see members graduating over long cycles, and some eventually going to individual loans, because also we have a cap that in a group you can take a maximum of 3 million. So beyond that, then you have to get a loan individually. So we are seeing those changes of the members that are graduating, but also in terms of productivity, and also in terms of growth in their loan cycles, growth in their savings. There are those indications that we observe. And also we see the diversification. But the only maybe challenge there is our diversification is still into crop. So usually you see, because of the availability of land, the diversification is people have been growing maybe maize, they have been growing beans, soybean. So the diversification is now they're going maybe to sugarcane growing as well, because they look at it's a more high value crop. So those are the changes we see. But see, with this Farmers Association, the trainings and the extension services, especially when we compare Masindi, where we were serving initially, and when we went to Hoima, we started serving farmers in Hoima, the greater Hoima and Chikuwe district, you'd see even change in the knowledge. At least in Masindi, you can see farmers now use the best agronomic practices. People buy seed. That one is okay. The spacing, that one has been mastered. Okay, the other higher things of maybe fertilizer, still, but they still use some form of fertilizer. These biofertilizers, they may not buy the DAP and the urea, but they still go for the bio fertilizers to boost, to enhance productivity. So you could see that is also kind of the transformation and the focus on producing for the market, to increase the yields and also improve the incomes of the farmers. What we have not achieved much is mixed farming. And actually at some point we are sharing the students, there was the end of the program evaluation last year I think, and the consultant who was brought to evaluate the program actually raised it. Because now as we go into climate changes, farmers should think of also going into livestock, so that if there is a catastrophe in the crop sector, they should have a fallback position. It's not something we have achieved, we are thinking of how we can be able to, through the Farmers Association, how we can also bring that active change for people to also focus on the livestock side.
Okay.
Last question.
What I want to know is, I'm interested in extension training. Actually, we have been tried in Ethiopia on wheat crop service given by our service organization. We tried for 3 years and it's convincing actually in production and productivity increments. But we can't afford because of costs that we build in this service. On this rise, you have been providing training with Madafa support. What's the interest in and how it's designed? Is that because it's temporary or it is which are sustainable and repeatable? And how the cost and how the structure that design in it? This is the first question. Secondly, due to erratic rainfall, sometimes maybe people are even jumping over this planting and then sometimes maybe shift to other livestock. On maize production, we happened with this. We have been started the maize financing in Rift Valley area with erratic rainfall. Sometimes we produce the maize in one only per year, and if there is no rainfall, we jump it to the second. Maybe if consequently for the second year the drought happened, like that we almost leave for financing of maize crops. Maybe do you think that this erratic rainfall may happen to this, and is there any mechanism that are thinking to cope up like that of using irrigation and others?
Maybe one, on the structure of the training, I said this Farmers Association does the training, especially for the good agronomic practices. For financial education, we have our staff. Our loan officers have gone through TOT in financial education, so they can deliver the trainings. But when it comes to the agronomy aspect, it is done by the District Farmers Association, the Masindi Farmers Agro-Business, and Masindi Seed Company. Because those are specialized in agronomy. So how they organize is they have field officers, but also at the group level, we have the groups of 30, but they have a center. There's a center where these groups of 30 meet, maybe about 90 to 100 people. They are meeting at that center. So within that center, there's a village agent who is a local, a person got from the community with some basic skills and has been trained, but also a practicing farmer. A practicing farmer with the practical knowledge who is also got as is like we call them lead farmers. Like a lead farmer with knowledge of agronomy and can be able to share, support also, cascade the trainings to the other members of the. So that one also reduces cost. Because the facilitation for the village agent usually is small, maybe 10,000 shillings, and is able to go and conduct a training. Compared sending maybe staff. So the field team now do the monitoring and backstopping the village agents. But also, as I said, we have had the helping hand of TRIAS subsidize some of these trainings. I don't think we would have done it on ourselves if also TRIAS didn't give us a helping hand to subsidize some of these trainings.
Okay.
And lastly, on the issues of erratic rains, that's why we have gone for crop insurance, so that we know in case there is a total failure, then we have transferred that risk to the insurance company. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Madfa. We are going to move forward with the second sharing presentation with CPF Inesa. You can bring out your experience. After that, we are going to have experience in digitalization.
First break.
You see? We want
First break after the
Okay. According to you.
According to verse 2.
Sorry, I need 1 minute. 1 minute. I need everybody to stand up.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Short exercise.
Yeah.
Take your book, the one page, quickly, very quick, so quick. You do like this. You put here. You begin to draw with this man. Draw. Put in your head and draw.
Draw.
Yes. You begin drawing. One. I want to count and one up to 3 and you stop. 1. Now you draw. 2. Continue drawing. 2. 3. Okay, stop. It is a kind of relax. You can even show your neighbor how you do. Thank you. I saw some people were sleeping, like me. So thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. I'm here to present with CPF NESA. I have just short presentation. I don't go deep in the presentation, but I want to share with you experience of CPF NESA, how it is working with the cooperatives. But before, what is the CPF NESA? CPF NESA is a cooperative of progress and financing, licensed by BNF, and began working in 2009 and licensed by Rwanda Cooperative Agents in 2010. It has 5 branches, 4 in 2 districts and 1 in Kigali city. That it has a vision and a mission, but I say the mission, the vision you are reading. The mission of CPF NESA is to contribute to the poverty alleviation in the rural and the urban area through the financial services and non-financial services as well. It promotes also the solidarity spirit among members, including farmers, youth, and women. So people that are supporting women, youth, and farmers come to CPF NESA. It is a land, and it will grow and have the harvest at the end. The experience comes during COVID-19, where we were thinking about farmers, and we saw that almost all activities were stopped except only farmers, and even the farmers didn't fail to pay their loans. So the idea comes to CPF NESA to ameliorate the agri-lending, because before it was somehow mixed by other projects. And we tried to make some specific some specific products from the products of working area. So those are 7 products. Zamuka cassava products, Hinrubuzima rice, it is somehow local languages, Guiza maize, banana products, coffee products, and fresh agri-loan products, and general agriculture, that is including horticulture and some other, the rest of other agri products that are not spoken there. Most of the time,